Hi, I'm Matt Blackett for Acoustic Guitar Magazine, and I'm here today to talk about the AER MM200 amplifier and the AER Compact 60. We'll start with the MM200. The MM in the title stands for Monty Montgomery. Super exciting, cutting-edge acoustic player. This is his signature amplifier. It's a 2-channel amp with 200 watts of power, onboard effects, and some really cool features that he needs to be able to do his crazy acoustic thing that he does. So one of them we're going to see later is the Monty mute that's on there, foot switchable mute function, and that'll prevent this amp from getting out of control because you're going to see that's something that we can do. I'm going to run some stomp boxes in the front of it and just try and give it a little bit of the Monty treatment here. So again, this is a 2-channel amplifier. I'm in the first channel. That has a 3-band EQ on it, which right now I have set flat. Okay, everything just straight up at high noon. And with my Larrivee Dreadnought here with a Fishman Aura system, this is what that sounds like. So it's a very nice full sound that we have, but I'm really impressed with the EQ on this amplifier. It's musical. It doesn't seem like it can get you into a lot of trouble, so I'm going to go ahead and just crank the treble control on it all the way up, and you're going to see this is a very pleasing high end. I would have no problem running this amp exactly like that with the treble completely cranked. It just sounds great. There's nothing shrill. There's nothing piercing about it. Even digging in kind of hard, it's a very forgiving top end on this. So what I'm going to do is dial that back, and there's also a color switch on here, which gives a slight bump to the lows and the highs and dips the mids ever so slightly. This is another gorgeous sound on this. Again, just a really sweet top end to it. Makes an acoustic sit in the mix very, very nicely. So as I said, this amp does have onboard effects. There are 2 reverbs on it, 2 delays, and there's a chorus as well. I'm going to dial in some reverb with this one, and it's a really nice reverb, a great thing to have. There is a pan control for the effects, and so if you wanted to use them just on the guitar or just on the mic channel for your vocal or something, you can do that. Here's what the reverb sounds like. Okay, so as I said, a big part of Monty Montgomery's trip is using stomp boxes in the front end of his amplifier. And he uses some effects that you wouldn't normally associate with acoustic guitar, like overdrive. He plays with distortion. He gets feedback. He really sort of attacks it in that fashion. And so what I brought here is a Riverside overdrive from Strymon, and then I also have the Dark Sun delay reverb from Seymour Duncan. I'm going to go ahead and crank these on, and let's see what this thing can do. What I just did there was engage the Monty mute, and it was a good thing because that was about to get out of control here. What this is just a foot switchable mute that'll take the entire amp down to nothing. And all I'm using for this right now is actually a fuzz pedal that I had just rattling around the house. I just took a cable from the output of this into the input of the Monty mute, and that keeps me in control here. So. Take this off, unmute. So as you can tell, this is a very full-featured amplifier. It is loud. I'm confident this could keep up with any kind of gig that you needed to use it on. I do have a feedback reducing sound hole cover here. I do think that's going to be a good thing to have for this as well. But essentially, this is a compact, lightweight, only weighs in at about 30 pounds, very, very effective and musical sounding amplifier. And it's got a great look too. As you can tell, this is going to be very unobtrusive on stage. You might not even have recognized that you've seen a bunch of AER amps on stage because they just have a really mellow look to them. And I think that's going to be good for any variety of gigs that you might use it on. So there you have it, the MM200 from AER. So now we have the AER Compact 60, which is a smaller version of essentially the same amplifier as the MM200. Anybody who doesn't need all the punch and muscle of the full Monty can go with the Compact 60, a super popular amp from AER. And so again, 60-watt amplifier, but still 2 channels, 3-band EQ. You get an instrument channel and a mic channel, onboard effects, which you can apply to either or both channels. And it's, again, just got the really sweet EQ, a really nice sound in an amazingly compact and small footprint, and it only weighs about 19 pounds. So here's what this one sounds like. And so now, that's with all the EQ set flat. I'm going to go ahead and just crank the lows on this. It's a really nice sounding bass response that you get from this, even in such a small cabinet. Does fill the room. It's an incredibly warm low end that you have on this. And it also has the color knob, or it's not a knob, it's a switch. So the color button that I'm going to engage right now, this again provides a really, really sweet sound. So a similar low end, but with more top end zing to it. And you can, of course, apply EQ on top of that. I might roll off just a little bit of that high end for a sound like this. And it's very forgiving. You can dig in pretty hard with this without things getting ugly, as they sometimes can when we try and amplify acoustics. So, as I said, it has onboard effects, and we heard the reverb before. This has the same reverb circuit. It's a very nice reverb, but I want to try the delay on this. And so, by bringing that in, there's our delay. And so it's, if I really crank it, we do have the capability of getting that sort of edge-style delay on it. And but then if I dial that back just a little bit, I can have just a little bit of ambience with it. So, again, if you don't need all the power that comes with the MM200, this is going to be a great choice. The Compact 60 sells for $11.99. The MM200 sells for $17.99, either of which would sound just gorgeous on a gig. And yeah, there's a reason you're seeing so many of these AER amplifiers on acoustic stages all over the world now.